Who's the MVP right now of the finals? I got my answer, but I'll go
I got my
that.
answer too.
All right, right now,
You just saw.
I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
I'm going Jaylen Brown.
What about you?
Drew Holiday.
I'm going Brad Stevens.
Okay. Okay.
You think, I mean, half
No,
joking,
I get it.
But the team.
Put a team together.
He put a team together. Drew Holiday might have been the best player in this game. The first game, it might have been Jaylen Brown, might have been Porzingis. That's the advantage that this Celtics team has. Would they play a B game tonight? B minus? It wasn't great. They shot, 10 of 38 from 3, 10 of 39. They won by 7. Never really in doubt. I think there was a moment there where you thought Boston might get close, or Dallas might get close, but it never got there.
Well, but that's why I've thought all season that the Jason Tatum narrative was overstated. Jason Tatum has to be the best player on the Celtics, and he has to be the MVP. No, he doesn't, because they've got an ensemble. And that's what put all those banners up there, Celtic team after Celtic team. And Brad Stevens knows that.
Yeah.
Not that he was trying to follow a formula or a pattern, because he wasn't. But he was doing that thing that makes the Boston Celtics who they've been, where you've got all these. By the way, all those answers could be right about who the MVP so far of the finals is. And I can switch from a Holiday.
They've never handed it to a front office member before,
I know.
but Bob's over here caping for it.
I'm representing my old craft.
If I'm Dallas, I'm kicking myself right now. This was the game they needed. Boston shooting 26% from 3. They out-rebounded them. This is the game they needed. This is a game Kyrie, they needed him to be aggressive, and they just didn't do it. And that's something that we talked about the whole time. They need Luka and they need Kyrie to be exceptional. And that's something that it's tough. It's tough when you're in a hostile environment like this to lean on those guys every single second.
Right,
Josh.
particularly because you're looking at a 30-point triple-double here for Luka Doncic.
Yep.
You're looking at the Boston Celtics shooting, Wilbon, less than 26% from 3.
The combination of those things would lead you to believe Dallas won this game, just hearing that. But Josh, I want to follow up even and ask about this. How important is it that the Celtics didn't give in, even when Luka was hot, to double team him or to blitz him or do the same thing to Kyrie? Other teams have had to do that defensively. The Celtics have not.
Yeah, it takes extreme discipline. And I think at the end of the day, their goal is to limit him as much as they can, but they're going to just force everyone else to beat them. And that's something that Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics, they don't believe Dallas has enough to beat them. And I think that's the biggest thing. You need guys coming out, being aggressive. Maxi Kleber going 0 for 4 at times, looking nervous to shoot. You need P.J. Washington to be aggressive. You need Derrick Jones Jr. to make those hustle plays. You need those guys, especially going against a team like this. I played against them. They're going to make other guys beat you, and that's something that Dallas hasn't done.
And Kyrie, he has to be that Robin to Doncic's Batman. And it's not just the fact that he went, he was 7 of 18.
He didn't get started till late.
He's having trouble getting separation, 1. And 2, he's having trouble getting by some pretty elite defenders. So I'm not knocking Kyrie. These are some of the best perimeter defenders.
Are the Celtics going to be able to be that physical in Dallas with Kyrie Irving?
They will.
Yeah.
They bounced him around like a pinball tonight. They did.
They need more movement on the offensive side. Everything is just so stagnant. Now you're having Kyrie and Luka going against 2 and 3 defenders. You need to have some type of movement, get them in space, and that's something that they're not doing, and it's tough to see.
So if you're Jason Kidd right now, Bob, what are you saying this group, knowing that the adage is a series doesn't start until a team wins on the road?
I mean, I think what he's saying, and Josh, you've been in these situations more in the locker room, but when I have seen in the locker room, when thankfully we weren't down 2-0 that often, but I've heard coaches say, and I think as smart as this is what they're supposed to do. They protected home court.
Yeah.
Now let's go protect ours. So you don't overreact to it, and I think what you say if you're Jason Kidd is we were in this game. We were right there. We know we can play better than this. We showed up. We fought. We competed. Now let's go home, protect our home court. So you don't overreact. We overreact. They don't overreact.
But we're overreacting to this one, God, Malika gets on me about how much I hate stats. But
It does.
teams that have taken in the NBA Finals a 2-0 lead are 31-5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something in zero, but it's something to pay attention to probably.
I'm wondering, Malika, what I didn't answer, and I'll ask Josh, is what strategically, if Jason Kidd comes to you and says, hey, Josh, tomorrow at shoot around in practice, say, what are you seeing out there? What would you say?
I'm having P.J. Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. initiate offense. I'm getting Luka and Kyrie off the ball, getting them in position where they don't have to work so much. And I think that's something that they're not really doing. All the shots, you talked about it earlier in pregame, the shots that they're making or the shots that they're shooting, it's just so tough. Right? And then they're not getting anything on the offensive glass. So I'm looking at the offensive and saying, how can I get these guys off the ball in the flow of it and get them getting downhill?
Yeah, and when you're in a series like this, what also happens is it is a chess match. It's best of 7. The more you can take a team out of what they're used to doing, and so he's saying P.J. Washington, Derrick Jones. Now this is a team used to having Kyrie and Doncic handle. So and also, look, we all watched Indiana score a lot of points on this very good Celtics team. Even without Halliburton,
but
Indiana could score.
It up.
I understand, right, exactly. But that's what they did all year. So we could sit here and say Dallas needs to push off misses. That's not what they do.
And Luka's going to have the ball, and he's not going to have a better first half than he had tonight. Unlikely.
That's right. I just know you cannot let an elite defense like this set up every time. I mean, look, on makes, it's hard to push. But on misses, Luka's he slowly gets it out. That's his style. That's his pace. But now you're staring at one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Set up in the half court.
I thought when they cut the lead, and by the way, Drew Holiday makes a great play. It could have been a 2-point game. But when they cut the lead, Kyrie had the ball more in his hand. Kyrie got to the basket a couple of times. Yes, he didn't beat anybody early, but he did late, Bob. And I thought he gave them a little bit of a spark, not to mention get himself going. No, the jump shot was not falling.
That's a great job. As we said before, throughout the game, they were going to bring the best out of us, bring the best out of us. The best thing we did was the emotional, mental, and physical toughness to just keep making plays. Everyone made great plays, but maybe the play more than anything else is that shot right there. Yeah, and the humility and the toughness to go in and take that shot with 3 seconds, that's the difference between winning and losing. So thank you for taking that shot. The closer you get to thinking about your goal, the easier it is to relax. All right? They brought the best out of us tonight. We keep that up, man. We got to be hungry. We got to be hungry. All right? Together. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Did we give ourselves a real chance to win? Yes. Okay, cool. Now we're going to build on it, all right? There's going to be turnovers. There are going to be missed assignments, right? We've got to support each other.
So Luka Doncic really struggled in the fourth quarter here. He's been struggling late in the fourth quarter of this series. If you take a look, 2 of 10 there from the field. Obviously, he came into this one questionable with the chest contusion. He's had the ankle issue. He's had the knee issue. When you're looking at him move around out there, though, Josh, it feels like he starts the game okay, and you think, all right, maybe that's going to be able to be put by the wayside. Does he just run out of gas toward the end? What are you seeing there?
Yeah, I think he might run out of gas. He has to do so much offensively, and that's where getting the ball out of his hands and having other guys initiate it. Even the simple fact of him not having to bring the ball up, going against Derek White or Jaylen Brown that's picking him up 94 feet, all of that takes a toll on your body. And when you're already banged up, you got to find ways to get off the ball, to get a breather, and be able to execute. And that's something that, I think he's kind of running on E a little bit.
Well,
he was gassed.
What would he know about this? He's tired. He played 48 minutes.
Tired is not in Josh's
I was getting tired watching Josh
series.
play 48 minutes a night. I was tired.
Yeah, but the thing for me is I know I can play 48 because I'm able to find my spots to rest. We have JB, and that's our guy. So when JB has the ball, if I'm in the corner, sometimes after some of these tough possessions, I'm over there not even looking for the ball, and I'm just resting. They got to find ways to get him not working so hard, and that's something that we try to do for Jaylen. Especially during that Indiana Pacers series, guys are picking him up 94. He's banged up. You got to get him off the ball and get him, not so much toll on his body.
And they're attacking him on defense, too, every time. They're putting him in pick and rolls.
Well, Derek White at 8 points in the fourth quarter. That was more than Luka and Kyrie combined. They had 7. Joe Mazzulla's at the podium right now talking about why it is that he doesn't quite like us all just talking about one player on his team. Take a listen.
We didn't do that. We didn't do it.
Not here.
We talked a lot.
A lot of guys.
That's the first and foremost. That should have been the first question, is the ability of our everybody on our team to do different things that lead to winning. So I'm really tired of hearing about one guy or this guy or that guy and everybody trying to make it out to be anything other than Celtic basketball. And everybody that stepped on that court tonight made winning plays on both ends of the floor. That's the most important thing.
I think we've used the term ensemble quite a few times.
The point is well taken.
I made it about one guy, the guy that put the guys on the floor.
Bob returns to it, but listen, his point is well taken, because most of the conversation all year, and you know how annoyed I've been at it. I don't believe in the narrative that Jason Tatum has to be the best player on the Celtics for them to win. Win. And then if we start dealing with MVP, my God, I don't remember that being a conversation, Bob, until we got to the Steph Curry hasn't won the MVP. So what? He got 4 rings, 3 of them before he was the MVP. So I understand why Missoula is annoyed,
perturbed
with that theme. Absolutely.
But here's the thing: whatever we say in the next minute, it ain't. You can't stop that train. That train's left the station. People are going to talk about.
Maybe this reverses it.
I don't think so.
You don't think 2 or 3 of these performances
do? No, it's. We highlight guys. Brunson versus Halliburton. What do you think's going on, Wilbon?
Yeah. Well, and also they built a team after 2022, and your Golden State Warriors defeated this Boston Celtics team. They looked around. Your Finals MVP, Brad Stevens, looked around and said, "How can we build an ensemble so that we come at you in waves, and it's not just one guy, one guy, one guy?" This team is literally built so that it is not just Jason Tatum, so that it is not just Jaylen Brown, so that on any given night, Josh, it can be 2 of these guys that are going to come and kill you.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful aspect about it. A day where Jason Tatum goes 2 for 26, you have Drew Holiday, a proven champion, going out there shooting 11 for 14 with 26 points and 11 rebounds. So it's not one person.